This is the Argos Chad Valley keyboard, electronic keyboard. It's a toy keyboard for children aged 3 years or greater. And as you can see, it has 8 instrument and rhythmic sounds, 4 animal sounds, and there is hours of musical fun to be had. It's obviously been made by somebody in China. They're currently available as of the end of 2021 for £11 each or £15 for 2, which is quite a steal, really. And I've bought it, or 2 of them in fact, with the intention of using them for an electronic project. But this is just a review of the keyboard as it is. So let's start with an unboxing. Safety. Now the thing about this is when you get it out of the box you find there's no instructions at all. As you can see, it's just wrapped in a sheet of tissue paper. There's nothing else in the box. And it has a warning to protect your little to protect your little ones long term hearing. The sound level of this unit is an adjusted level. Now they can play all day, which is nice. It takes 3 batteries which go in the back. And here we go. Magically I already have 3 batteries ready. And let's put them in. There we go. I wouldn't overstress these screws. It's actually quite well constructed, but I read one review saying that screw had gone. Well, if you really give it a hard turn, it may well do that. It's actually, though, pretty well constructed. It doesn't flex. It's quite sturdy. It's actually properly screwed together at the back. You can see there's a lot of screws here. So it's not just clipped together or something. And first impressions, the keyboard has a bit of a funny feel if you're used to better quality keyboards, because it's actually using, and I know all this because I've already opened the other one and stripped it down and everything. I bought 2, obviously, who wouldn't? They're just using little rubber domes underneath the keys, which means they sort of give, like have a little resistance, and then they give. It's not going to be a problem even for small children because they tend to sort of bash things anyway. It is a bit slightly strange to play, but it's the kind of thing you could get used to. And you know, it's £11. I was amazed really to be able to buy something that has effectively a proper keyboard action on it for what amounts to £7.50. So physically it's not at all bad. You've also got these nice stars. If you like stars, or your child likes things with stars on, this is I think they're rather nice. Some might think them a bit kitsch, but by the way, just mentioning, Chad Valley is actually an Argos brand now. It's owned by them, and in turn owned by Sainsbury's. So these are only available, so far as I know, at Argos. They've been a big name in toys for a long time, so it's a bit sad in a way when a brand gets bought. But there's also 2 speaker grills here, but only one of them has a speaker in, which is that one. That one's just a dummy, so they're lying to us. Yaboo, sucks. If we switch it on, you get a flourish, which gets a bit confused in the middle, and it has some basic sounds on it. And that's the piano, the organ. You can hear it, it's a little bit distorted at the default volume setting. The speaker in here is not exactly hi-fi. It's a funny little thing. But for a child, again, does that matter? That's the violin. That was the trumpet. There's a bell, which is quite nice actually. This is the least successful, I think. It's a mandolin. And finally, I need my glasses on. This is something else. None of them sound like what they're supposed to anyway. You've also got a dog bark, a frog, a duck, and a bird. And all these sounds are made, so far as I can tell, with just combining square waves, if you know that kind of thing. There's one chip in here that does everything. You can't really strip it down any further. It's actually just a rubber blob with a microchip underneath. And you've got, oh, did I miss that one out? That's a music box. You can turn the volume down. To do that, this is these two keys. You have to keep hitting them. You don't just hold it. You can hear that the distortion tends to get less when you turn it down. You can turn it up as well here. Next feature, these keys can also act as drums. That's the bass drum, hi-hat, tom, and that's a guiro or guiro, Japanese scrapey thing. You've also got some drum rhythms here. And you get some amazing flashing lights when you do it. These are actually red, but the covers are yellow-ish, so it's a bit of a funny colour. Rock, something else, New Age, that one's called. That's the disco. March, which I think one of those kids who likes noisy things that annoy people would love that one. That's the waltz. Samba, which, you know, you can really groove to that actually, that's pretty good. And what's that one? Blues, apparently. I'm not quite sure what kind of blues. And you hit stop to stop it. So what are these other keys up here? I need more glasses on. Hold on a second. You've got a tempo. Oh yes, that's the tempo up and down there. So if we go back to the funky samba, you can change the speed. And that stops it. Now there's also a bunch of demo tunes which you get by hitting the key. It would be helpful if they provided at least a list of these in the box, but nothing. That's London Bridge is falling down, obviously. Farajaka. I'm not quite sure what that one is. I think press stop. There's also a record function, which I haven't tried it on this one, obviously, because I've just unboxed it. On the last one, you had to keep holding it down to do the recording. So I don't know quite. Let's try this. I think if you just press it, it doesn't work. See, nothing happens. But if you do this, so I don't really know what's going on there, because that's quite awkward to have to keep holding that down. It feels like you ought to have to do something else, but nothing else seems to work. It looks like it's in a record mode now, doesn't it? But if I hit something else, you know, there's nothing. Oh. Okay, so that's what you do. You hit record, and then when you stop recording, you hit play. That takes it out. Okay, I get it. You put it in record mode. Now you start recording. Oh dear, that was a bit off, wasn't it? And then you press play. Seems to record. Okay, let's do this again. Yeah, so this puts it in record mode, and then when you want to stop recording, you press play, and when you take it out of record mode, it forgets everything. And that's apparently where we run out of notes. There we go. There was something else I was just going to mention there. I did those, didn't I? Those can just be played independently. I don't think it records those. You switch between the dogs and the bass drums and whatever by pressing the drum switch button. And that's about it. Overall, I think it's pretty good for the price. Obviously, this is not going to be something you play Chopin on. The key action, like I say, is a bit odd, but it's well constructed and it has a bunch of things for a child to do. And if you're looking for a cheap keyboard assembly, I think this is about as cheap as you're going to get if you want something to fiddle around with like I did. There's no sound outputs at all. You can't put headphones on it, which is a bit of a pity, because I've actually connected a line out socket to my other one, and it does improve things a lot. In fact, let me show you the insides, because through the magic of Blue Peter style one I prepared earlier, here's one I've been already mucking around with. That is, I've added a socket and been sort of somewhat messing around with things. That was my head there. Those are the LEDs with two lights which I've disconnected, and there's a switch. But you can see it's actually quite well made for the price. Everything's screwed together. These tend to all bend when you haven't got the keyboard all connected. Let's just show you the keyboard mechanism here. It'll all fall apart, but I can take it. These are some extra wires I've put in. These were already part of it. But if you know anything about these things, you can see these are the how it works. The keys just press these down with those simple pushes, and that's why it has a bit of a weird keyboard action, because these take some force to bend, and then they will go. They will sort of give quite suddenly. It's not a huge problem. It does mean it takes more force to press down the black keys than the white keys. Let's just put this back together so it doesn't all fly apart. Showing myself up here, I'm afraid. Just how cack-handed can I be? It's because I'm on camera, you see. I'm getting all stressed now. Oh, for heaven's sake. We'll do that in a minute. This, by the way, is the speaker, which is pretty awful, but to be fair, it is at least actually a speaker. It's not like a piezoelectric buzzer. And that's the main circuit board, which is very basic. It's just got the connections, a couple of other components. That's the actual brains of the device. You can see more of these key doodads here. That's the internals of it. So overall, if I had children to buy a first keyboard for, small children, would I buy it? Yes, I would. Certainly for, well, it says 3+ years. Certainly for little children, this is great. I would think by the time that kids are getting sort of a bit older, towards the 8 sort of range, they might find it a bit childish and patronising, especially in this day and age, and you might want to get something a little less toyish and a bit more keyboardish, but that would depend on you and the child. Overall, thumbs up, recommendation.